11. Hey guys, welcome to Z's Comics Reviews number 17. We're getting up there. We're almost 20. It'll be awesome. All right, so couple things. In the DC universe, there are a bunch of martial artists, and everybody thinks Batman is the end all be all of the best martial artists.
He's up there.
He is up there. He is up there, but he is not the best. You know who is the best?
Who's the best?
Lady Shiva. Lady Shiva is actually labeled as like the best martial artist. But here's the thing. Two people have beaten her, and I don't mean Batman, because Batman has never actually beaten her in single combat. At least not that I know of.
Okay.
The two people that have beaten her, Black Canary and her daughter, Cassandra Cain.
Ooh.
Cassandra Cain is she's got multiple mantles right now. Currently, I think she's orphan, but she's taken up the Batgirl mantle once again in her own series, starting I want to say October, November of this year. So be on the lookout for that. Not only that, but
out for that.
Be on the hunt. That's boo. But
Don't like it.
It didn't work.
Don't
It didn't
like
work.
it.
I don't like it.
She's not a fan of Huntress.
But she's not the Huntress.
Just saying.
It's Cassandra Cain, okay?
Just saying.
But yeah, she hasn't had her own comic in, I want to say, like 10 years, just about, maybe 15. But yeah, she's getting her own comic. She's going to have to team up with her mom. She's going to have to go up against some baddies, all right? Then, Black Canary. The reason why I brought up Black Canary, she is also getting her own series where she is going up against Lady Shiva. So I don't know if we're just having like a martial artist renaissance right now from DC.
They're great.
I mean, yeah.
Helps get you out there.
It does. It does help you get out there. I need to get out there. But yeah, we're gonna get a Black Canary miniseries. We're gonna get a Batgirl, Cassandra Cain miniseries. So be on the lookout for those. We're also getting closer to the Absolute DC. Absolute DC.
Absolute.
The Batman one is garnering so much hate just because of the symbol. Okay.
I mean, I can see why. The symbol looks like they kind of went with it.
They're just like, hey, let's slap a rectangle over there. Okay, but it doesn't look like a bat. All right, put some spikes on there.
Spikes.
Yeah, that's so that's garnering a bunch of people want to toss around the word controversy all the time. It's not a controversy. People just don't like it, and I'm inclined to agree with them, just because it just looks like a rectangle.
Yeah.
All right.
It is.
I mean, we already got the Hulk of a bat. Do you really need the rectangle?
I know.
It just looks like a hammer. Okay, I'm going to say it right now. It looks like a hammer. But yeah, people are getting really miffed at that, and so much so that they brought James Gunn into
they asked him about it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, what's up?
So in a tweet to James Gunn, they have asked him, pleaded with him really, to get DC to change the design for Absolute Batman's bat symbol. In response, he says he has absolutely no control over the comics, and that is true. He's movies and TV at this point. Okay, don't bother James Gunn. All right, he's already got his hands full fixing what these guys messed up on before. All right, so leave James Gunn out of this. He's doing his best. All right, he's doing his best.
Let him stick to his guns.
I like that one. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, I like that one. All right, now on to the actual reviews.
To the comics.
To the comics. All right.
So
first up, Universal Monsters Frankenstein.
Right.
I just read this one a little while ago. The premise sounded really good. The premise is each of the 4-issue miniseries is going to focus on one of his body parts.
His pieces?
Yeah, his pieces. They are. It's a miniseries made up of the Frankenstein monsters pieces, and this one is the arms, the hands, really. The hands.
Hey. What do you think? What do you think? We looking at like torso, another one for the legs?
I have no idea. I haven't looked ahead. All I know is that I ordered them, and so this one right here. Very well written, I think. It's incomplete, but you're only talking about a piece of him. So it kind of, and I'm not talking like it doesn't feel right. I'm talking like things are left out, and it feels like it's on purpose. You know what I mean? And this one right
For the
here,
good kind.
yeah. This one right here, it's the kind that adds to the story. This one right here follows, like I said, the hands. Turns out that the hands belonged to a boy's father, and this particular issue is told partly from the boy's perspective. So you don't really know if he's a reliable narrator or stricken with grief. And then there's at one point another narrator takes over, and you don't know who it is. So I'm kind of excited to see where this one goes. The artwork is great. It's kind of dirty. But when you're talking about a dude that digs up graves and stuff like that, the art kind of has to be dirty for the story. You know what I mean? And so, like, the art itself is another character in the story. I'm straight up giving this one a 5 out of 5. Okay, we're opening up strong.
Good.
Universal Monsters Frankenstein #1. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
Nice.
Okay, I am really excited for this one. I still need to read the Dracula and the other ones, but yeah, Universal Monsters is off to it's a great continuation of their properties that they got right now. All right.
Only they could have done good in the movies.
I blame Tom Cruise. Now moving on to
Moving right along.
Deadpool team up. This one, every Deadpool comic is weird, okay? Deadpool Team Up is no exception. It opens up on a preposterous level where he upsets some members of the Japanese mafia. They're not even called the Yakuza, okay? They're called something else.
Wow. Next level.
Yeah. So apparently there is a Japanese hero that can manipulate anime or become cartoony or something in neon. It's very weird. Kind of feels slightly offensive, but that's not me for me to judge, I guess. But
it's true.
The funny thing is, you get thrown into it, and in true Deadpool fashion, it goes from A to W really quick, and you have no idea what the heck just happened, okay? As the name suggests, Deadpool is going to be teaming up with multiple heroes, villains. He's going to have guest stars in this series. Cameos, if you will. And this one is no exception. We get a cameo from Dragon Man. We get a cameo from the yellow guy. And I'm not going to tell you which yellow guy, but you can probably tell. But yeah, the first one, I'm gonna give it a solid 3 out of 5. It's a fun read. I really recommend it, but you don't have to read it. You know what I mean? Like if you just want something light, kind of funny, kind of weirdly drawn, because Rob Liefeld does the interior artwork as well. He does the pencils and lines and stuff.
So no feet in this issue.
They show feet and hands.
Okay, wow.
But whatever. But yeah, if you want something, like kind of like a palate cleanser, I guess. This is a perfect one. Like I said, 3 out of 5. So I'm probably going to keep reading it. I don't know if we'll keep reviewing it like we do like Space Ghost and Spider-Gwen and stuff, but we'll go from there. All right, next up,
nice.
We got Absolute Power Task Force 7 number 5.
Wait, not Absolute Power. It is Absolute.
It is Absolute Power. Task Force 7.
Okay.
You calm down.
No, we were talking about the Absolute Universe.
Oh yeah,
coming up, and I was like, wait a minute, no, it's not. What? But I was like, wait a minute, too many absolutes. But anyways, this
only a Sith deals in absolute.
All right.
Regale us, Thunder. Regale us. What's going on? What's going on in here?
This one is a very, very simple, straightforward issue. Like, it is the Flash running trying to run away from his the robot and a Amazo thing that took his powers.
All of these things have different. Oh, it's called Velocity.
Yes,
okay, Velocity.
Running away from Velocity, the Amazo robot that didn't take his powers, but took some from Wall-E and a few other the speedsters.
Gotcha. So wait, it did not take Barry's.
No, Barry still has his speed. He still got his speed.
Okay, so now his tagline is correct. I am the fastest man alive.
For the most part, yeah. So then they kind of play on that too, because
Wally's faster.
Of course he is, bro. 90% of the things that people attribute to the Flash are done by Wall-E.
I know.
I mean, come on. Barry was dead for 20 years.
He was.
So
and then Jeff Johns brought him back.
Yeah. But this issue is pretty much, for the most part, just like all the others. The Amazo is doing most of the talking. or if not, it's their inner monologue. And he kind of like makes a joke at that on Barry when he's like, "Oh, I've absorbed like the powers and along with it some of the memories of like previous speedsters, like." He was like, except for one. He's like, but this one was neither the first nor the fastest. So it's like, hey, you suck, Barry. But, but yeah, so like most of this issue, he's running away. He's just trying to get away from him, and he traps him for a brief moment in the Speed Force. But because going through memories and all that, the Amazo like learns how to get out of the Speed Force and all that.
Damn it, Wally.
Yeah. So there's that. The main part of the story, not much there. It's this issue kind of falls on the like last 2-3 pages where we get back to Steve Trevor and his like secret mission, whatever. And in this issue, Waller has finished her device that she was building. She jokes that it sounds like dial-up internet when it's powered up, and she wonders why. She's like, "Why does it sound like dial-up? We're in the future, man. Why are we sounding like dial-up?" You don't get an explanation. But yes, she finished her machine. You are shown who she was building the machine to get. I won't say who, but there are people that come in that I feel like are gonna cause some havoc pretty soon.
So basically, the bulk of this issue is just basically some cool set pieces.
Yeah, basically
some cool artwork,
like cool set pieces, cool artworart.
With a little bit of narration thrown into it.
A little bit of narration. You get, of course, your nice like moment with Barry and Iris before he tells her like, "Hey, I gotta zoom off to be the Flash again," you know. So it's a nice little issue. I'd stick with like a nice 3 out of 5. You know, 3 out of 5.
Okay,
not
all
a
right.
need to, but it's a good one.
Nice. All right. So solid 3 out of 5 for Absolute Power number 5. Let's move on to Spider-Gwen. I have not had a chance to read mine yet. Thunder, regale us. Regale us.
I feel like this is another sort of like Absolute Power number 5 one where it's a nice issue. Not too much happens in this. Like we pick up from the last one where she like exploded everything, and with this brand new power, Silk is chilling with her. Find out Silk not that good of a cook. She straight up incinerated the pancakes she was making for her.
Well, the Silk was trapped in a bunker for like 20 years with nothing but MREs, so yeah.
I guess.
I would think that she doesn't know how to cook.
Yeah, but she claims she knows how to.
Don't
Silk
we all?
is adamant with it.
Don't we all? But all right, we get some cool backstory on Silk.
Yeah,
some good character growth.
Get some character growth there. You end up seeing the chameleon. You know, finding out like he's kind of tweaking. You know, just tweaking a bit. Because evidently he's got like nanites or whatever that help him do his powers now. It's not necessarily like him changing whatever. And evidently whatever this power that Gwen has now, evidently it like fed the nanites or whatever, and the nanites are basically making Chameleon like a tweaker. Like he's just like, I need more. So he's like switching back and forth from different people, and honestly, that's kind of like the bulk of it that happens. Like he ends up breaking out, trying to get back to Gwen to like see what's going on.
So basically, just more setup.
Yeah, it's basically just a setup one. I still liked it though, because like some of the jokes and stuff that happens, pretty nice. Still a solid like 3 out of 5.
Solid 3 out of 5. All right. Nice. All right. Quick, concise. Let's move on to the next one. What do we got here? Ooh, Berserk. What is this called again? Damn. Berserk Valley of Flowers?
Like the Lost Book of B or whatever, something like that. Like,
yep, Lost Book of B. Berserker, Lost Book of B. This is a one-shot.
Yes.
Takes place during the Crusades, right?
Not during Genghis Khan.
Oh, snap! During Genghis Khan. All right,
bro.
All right. All right. What's going on here, man?
So in this one, it's told from the perspective of. I'm just gonna say like an occult guy, like these people, these priests that have found out about Berserker, and kind of like worship him. They see him as like a god and whatnot. So it's told from this guy's perspective, kind of recounting what happened. And he speaks to this one leader. They don't really say what leader it was, but just some leader where he's like, hey, the guy's coming. But in this sense, he's talking about Khan. He's talking about Genghis. He's like, yo, Genghis is coming. You know what happens when he gets to places. Like Genghis Khan just straight wipe things clean. So he's telling him, like, I have a way for you to become the person to give Genghis Khan his first loss. And he starts recounting, like, talking about this guy that is just basically the greatest one-man army that ever existed. But the kind of twist on it is he ends up telling whoever this weird leader is, he's like, you gotta make sure that Genghis finds this guy. You gotta get him. And so Genghis Khan ends up, finding B, kind of tells him, like, hey, you, me, we can take over the world. Like, there's no one that can stop us. So for a good part of the issue is just B and Genghis Khan working with each other. Like, he's catapulting B over walls to, like, infiltrate people, and just has them, like, wipe everything clean. And it kind of plays on that whole, like, what do you, kind of like that Superman episode where it's like, oh, what do you get the man that has, like, everything or whatnot? In this case, it's like, what do you give the guy that, like, lives forever or something like that? And in this case, he tells him, like, oh, you get him a way to kind of, like, forget all his memories. So when he's partnered up with Genghis Khan, dude's basically, like, on opioids the whole time.
What?
Yeah, he's just straight up like, but he gets to a point where it's like, oh, it's not really working anymore. Like, he's got accustomed to it or whatever, and he needs more or whatnot.
He's an immortal, so he took so much that he developed an immunity to it.
Wow. And it's just, it gets to a point where he's just like, oh, what am I doing? And, like, they kind of try to touch on V's backstory a little bit, where he's like, oh, he reaches to a point when, like, oh yeah, it's not working anymore. All the memories, he's starting to remember them even more now. And he's kind of sees, like, oh, there's, like, a little bit of flashback where he's talking to this man that he calls dad. So we're like, oh, okay, this is, like, back when his first life or whatever. And basically it seemed like the relationship that he had with his dad was the same that he was having with Genghis Khan, where it's just like, hey, you're a freaking animal. Like, you are amazing. You kill. You are great. And just got to that point where he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, I'm just an animal to you guys. And so, yeah, he just, in this point too, the way the narration goes about it is like, hey, how does this guy that is immortal, who just got addicted to this, like, thing, his body is addicted to a drug now, how does he get rid of that? Kills himself.
Damn.
So he's straight up just, at one point he's chilling with Genghis, he's just there celebrating another victory, and he goes about telling, like, and Genghis is like, why are you so down, bro? Why so glum? He's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And Genghis is like, oh, you know how many men would kill to be in your scenario? All these other men, like, would kill to be my right-hand man, to have all the women he would want, all the riches. And just kind of looks at him, he's like, you should know by now, I'm not an ordinary man. Dude just walks out off a cliff, and then comes back. And yeah, like, it's very hard. Like, there's not really much to spoil, because I know I've kind of gone through a lot of it. There's not really much to spoil in these, like, one shots, because it's really just sort of like a, I guess, just I would say like a Saturday morning cartoon, where it's just there for entertainment. Like, you get a little bit, like, just learning more into the universe of Berserker, you know.
Honestly, I think they're just releasing all these one-shots and backstory things because the anime got announced, and there's actually traction on it now.
Yes.
Over at Netflix, and from Keanu Reeves himself, he's done with Sonic now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, they're gonna hit the ground running with this.
I heard, like, since you're saying, like, he's done with Sonic now, I think this is the first Berserker one, besides the book, like the actual book that came out like a month ago. This is, like, the first Berserker comic that Keanu has actually been able to come back and work on himself. Oh,
okay. Because I know he did the first story arc for the first series. I didn't know if he did any of the other one shots and stuff. Oh, that's pretty cool.
I read, so it's not too much stuff to spoil. It's just, it's a solid story. Like, that's all it is.
So bottom line, man, what do we give it?
I give it a nice 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5? Wow.
The art is nice. The story is good, straightforward too, and it's It's just a solid story, you know.
All right. So, moving on. This is our last one. This is Alien versus Avengers. This is the Mark Brooks variant that I'm showing you guys right now because I ran out of the other one, the regular one. This right here, I didn't think it would work. Aliens versus Avengers, #1. I was curious to see how it was going to happen, how it was going to go down. Turns out it goes down in the future. So that's a good one right there. We open up, and just like always, some douche nozzle decides, you know what, I'm going to research these things, and I'm going to seed planets with them. Well, that happened, and one of the planets happened to be Earth.
It's always got to be Earth.
It always has to be Earth. The artwork's very good. Very dark, kind of like an actual, like alien movie. Very very subdued. Like colors are muted. It goes through a whole little backstory about what happened when the planet was seeded with the xenomorphs.
Mm-hmm.
With the turns out they sent eggs and 4 queens in each pod, and one of the pod that landed on Earth had 4 queens and some eggs, and it just, according to the history shown in the comic, it's been like it took months, like 2 months maybe, to take over the entire planet. And at each turn, they were trying to figure it out because they're heroes. They don't want to kill. Well, they should have killed. Okay. They just completely lost. The X-Men are gone.
No, not the X-Men.
No. They left Earth.
Oh, okay.
So in this one, Krakoa was still around.
Oh.
And they escaped to Mars. So the X-Men, most of the X-Men, I guess, are just, hanging out on Mars. They're like, screw you guys. You get what you deserve. Except for Apocalypse, because at this point, Apocalypse got what he wanted. That's his paradise. Kill or be killed, strongest survive. So he's like, man, I'm in heaven right now. And he's just there. I don't know what's going on because they just touch on it for a second.
You think he's trying to figure out a way to make an alien a horseman?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Apocalypse to do weird, janky stuff like that. But they haven't really shown if he's coming back. I haven't seen any solicitations for him. The storyline does take place like in the future, and most of the Avengers are just old and gray kind of stuff. Like Bruce Banner, he's walking around with a cane until he holds out, and then he's the Hulk, but gray, or like his hair's gray. I mean,
he's got that long hair maestro-ness going on. Kind of,
yeah. Nice. Except in here, like the backstory, just the backstory, dude. So many heroes are gone. There's only one vestige of humanity left, and it was left by the Weyland-Yutani company. Okay, yeah. So this is in the future, and all this stuff is happening, and they knew they had this idea, so they built a town. They built security measures around. I'm pretty sure it's New York to keep these things out. So. Man, it's just so good. The world's smartest person just ends up being really stupid, and that is what sets everything off. And then at the end, you get a twist where it's alien versus alien, and I'm not talking about xenomorph versus xenomorph. Basically, the cover
kind of front pagey here.
Kind of the front page is kind of like a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you exactly how it goes. Just that I was like, whoa, that just happened. And why is it talking? Kind of thing. But yeah, it's really good. You get a good sense of the dread that you feel in an alien movie. You know what I mean? I mean, yes. like basically you get the dread of aliens. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And now it's just the Avengers' turn to face aliens. I know last week we did Black Panther vs. Predator, but I like this one a hell of a lot more.
Wonder if they're ever going to think about doing Aliens, Predators, Avengers, and all these. I mean,
we already had Aliens, Predators, and Superman from Dark Horse way back in the day. I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, this one right here, I'm gonna say it, man. We started off with a 5 out of 5. I'm ending on a 5 out of 5.
Ended with a 5.
I'm super excited for this. Okay, I think we gave Predator a 4 out of 5, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Predator was a 4 out of 5. Black Panther or Predator versus Black Panther was a 4 out of 5.
BPP.
Yep, BPP. Yeah, Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, Alien versus Avengers, 5 out of 5. The artwork is great. The story is great. The bleakness of it, you just feel it. You know what I mean? And yeah, that about does it for our comic reviews, comic